Welcome to the Daily Devo. I'm Bob Bryant, and today we're going to talk about winning in marriage for the wives. It's easy to talk the talk, but are you walking the walk? We can say all kinds of words, but if our words don't match with our conduct, we're hypocrites. And what God clearly says in our passage today in 1 Peter chapter 3, he's saying that we have to walk the walk rather than use our words if we want to win in marriage. I saw this with my daughter. One of my daughters is dating this guy, and he says all the right things. I love you, I care for you, all the good things that a boyfriend should say to a girlfriend. But when it comes down to it, his conduct is different than his words. He's saying the right words, but his conduct is selfish and jealous and envious and things like that. And she finally figured it out on her own that his talk didn't match up with his walk. And so she got rid of him. Hey, so here in 1 Peter chapter 3, let's take a look at verses 1 through 4. Wives, in the same way, be submissive to your husbands, so that if any of them do not believe the word, they may be won over without words by the behavior of their wives, when they see the purity and reverence of your lives. Your beauty should not come from outward adornment, such as braided hair and the wearing of gold jewelry and fine clothes. Instead, it should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight. The passage is saying this: wives can win their unbelieving husbands without a word. It doesn't take words to win an unbelieving husband over to the Lord. It takes conduct. Godly behavior, godly conduct will win an unbelieving husband to the Lord. Will win a husband who struggles to come to church. It will win the husband. And imagine this: not only if it's as powerful, influential, and persuasive that these unspoken words, but godly behavior wins a husband to salvation. Just imagine how godly conduct and behavior can win a husband in so many other ways. Do you see the play on words that Peter is using here? He says, unbelieving husbands who don't believe in the word of God, will not be won to the word of God through words of a wife. But he's saying that it's the unspoken words that will win a husband to the word of God. It's powerful. It's influential. It's walking the walk, not talking a talk. And so here we see in verse 2, it's respectful and pure conduct. The primary influence in a husband's life is not going to be badgering or incessantly asking or demanding of things. It's going to be the godly behavior, the godly conduct of a godly woman. And that consistency is what God uses as persuasiveness to a man's spirit. And what's interesting here is there are some people who would challenge and say, is Peter making women substandard to men? And in no way. As we get through 1 Peter chapter 3, you're going to see Peter calls women co-heirs of eternal graciousness and giftedness with men. There is an equality that Peter talks about with men and women. You see this with the Apostle Paul in Galatians 3. And he's calling that for an equality of men and women. We may play different roles, but we are equal in God's eyes. The New Testament was countercultural to the status quo of the time. For cultures outside of the gospel, there was a very substandard view of women, but the New Testament was revolutionary, and we see this even in Jesus and his treatment of women with dignity and respect. And that is not a substandard view of women. Verse 3 says this: wives, don't focus on external beauty. Don't focus on your hair and jewelry or clothes. However, it's nice, but that is not how you're going to win your husband's spirit. The husband's spirit is not won through the external beauty. It is won through the inner, hidden, personal beauty. Verse 4, so what is this conduct that wins marriage? The hidden person of the heart. The unfolding beauty is a gentle and quiet spirit. This is what God says wins the day. If you want to have a winning marriage, and I would even say beyond that, if you want to have influence in your business, if you want to have influence with clients and customers, if you want influence, it's this hidden person, gentle in conduct, gentle in spirit, rather than the use of so many words. It's the walking the walk and not talking the talk. And in fact, if you would like to dive deeper, we can't get into all the details here on the daily devotion, but I'd like to invite you to the Mine at 6:45 on Tuesday nights, where I'm teaching through 1 Peter, and we will be diving in to all of these verses and chapters, and you're welcome to come. Have a good day.